So I was looking through the internet today on Star Wars news, and I found this interesting article that says that Amandala Stenberg says the Acolyte being canceled was not a huge shock after a rampage of vitriol from toxic Star Wars fans. Now, I have lots of points to make on this article. I want to read it with you. And then afterwards, I'm going to give my points and try to be as polite as possible because I think some of this is just lashing out on Amandala Stenberg's part. So let me bring this up and show you. It says Amandala Stenberg says the Acolyte being canceled was not a huge shock after a rampage of vitriol from toxic Star Wars fans. And this is on Variety.com. And there she is. Amandala Stenberg isn't too surprised that the Acolyte has come to an end on Disney+. The lead of the Star Wars series shared a statement on her Instagram story Wednesday reflecting on the rampage of hyper-conservative bigotry and vitriol that they faced after being cast. I'm going to be transparent and say it's not a huge shock for me, Stenberg begins in the video. There has been a rampage of vitriol that we have faced since the show was even announced, when it was still just a concept and no one had even seen it. That's when we started experiencing a rampage of, I would say, hyper-conservative bigotry and vitriol, prejudice, hatred, and hateful language towards us. Though the Acolyte generally drew praise from critics, the series was review bombed, meaning that a group of fans formed a digital protest and posted negative reviews en masse. This practice often impacts productions that include actors of color and LGBTQ characters. The 2017 Star Wars film The Last Jedi also faced an extreme backlash from online fans upon its release. This really affected me when I first got the job, because it's not something, even though I anticipated happening, it's not something you can fully understand what it feels like until it's happening to you, Stenberg said. However, I feel like I've kind of moved through those feelings in various ways, including being vocal about it myself. It just became inarguable for me at a certain point that in order to continue to be myself, I would have to honor my value system by being vocal, even in the context of working for Disney. It has been an incredible honor and dream for me to be in this universe, they added. Of course, I'm very sad about the show being canceled. I just want to let those people know out there who supported us in that way and support us vocally despite and in the face of all of the vitriol that we received and the kind of targeted attack, I would say, were received by the alt-right, just that you were deeply loved and appreciated, and it made this job all the worthwhile for me. The Acolyte aired its season finale in July. The Disney Plus series was reported to be coming to an end in August, with Lucasfilm electing against continuing with more episodes of the prequel that follow the rise of the Sith, roughly 100 years before the events of Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. In the series, Stenberg played separated twins Osha and May, though the Season 1 finale concluded with a cliffhanger and lingering plot lines. The divided reception among fans and declining viewership numbers did not seem to imply a second season was a guaranteed prospect. Okay, that's the article. So let's break this down. Okay, first of all, I do not condone horrible language toward the actors, actresses. They are portraying what the director and producers are trying to put out there. Even though they do have a little leeway, like Ahmad Best, when he played Jar Jar, he got so much hate mail. And he was only doing what George Lucas wanted him to do. The kid who played Anakin, oh my God, he had such a horrible time. These actors and actresses don't deserve that. But then on the other hand, they're saying that the rampage of vitriol from toxic Star Wars fans, she's making it sound like most of the fans are toxic to me in that article. And I kind of resent that, being a Star Wars fan myself. I wasn't toxic to the show. I did not like the show because the show sucked. It wasn't because of people of color or LGBTQ people. The storyline sucked. The characters did not have development. You had writers who had never experienced Star Wars before, except for like right before they started writing for the show, so they didn't have any concept. You even had actors that didn't know anything about Star Wars. They thought Anakin blew up the Death Star. So it was doomed. It was doomed to failure. When all of that comes to light, you have all these fans that are wanting a Star Wars show like The Mandalorian Season 1 or Revenge of the Sith type movie, and you bring out this show that's talking about the power of one, the power of two, the power of many, and they're singing, and there's basically no backing in Star Wars for this. You have the Night Sisters, but this didn't look like any Night Sister thing I'd ever seen. It just seemed like it was not going to succeed. And if you had declining numbers throughout the whole episode, then that means that your show's not good. It means it's not good. What should have happened is, if all those people had vitriol and hate at the very beginning of the episode, and y'all are doing a fantastic job with this series, then all the viewership should have gone up. It should have just gone way up. It's not that the fans bombed it, it's that you didn't do your job. Leslie Headland didn't create a universe of Star Wars for Star Wars fans. It's really sad. I had high hopes for this show, and then them trying to stuff all of those little Easter egg cliffhangers at the end of the last episode so they could get another season kind of just turned me off too. You had Yoda, and you had Darth Plagueis, and you had May and Quamir standing there like boyfriend, girlfriend. It was like everything was flip-flopped, and there was just no way for me to appreciate it as a Star Wars movie or series. I don't know why Amandala Stenberg thought that it was going to succeed. I just don't. I mean, like I said, I don't think that she deserved all the hate and the vitriol that she received as an actress, but I think that that's not the reason the movie failed. The movie failed because you didn't produce what the fans wanted. Leslie Headland created something that Leslie Headland wanted, and she didn't even listen to any of the fans. I mean, she threw in there like the bleeding of the lightsaber. That's something brand new, and they have to scramble to make it fit into the Star Wars lore. They had to bring in Kyle Mundi. They brought in Kyle Mundi, and now they had to scramble to make that fit because his species wasn't that long-lived, and he shouldn't have even been there. And everybody's like, it's that's such a small little thing. Well, you got to make it fit. If it doesn't fit, then it's not factual. All I got to say is, I don't condone the hate and the words, but you trying to blame it on all the fans and saying the show crashed because of the toxicity is not true. The show crashed because it stunk. You have Ahsoka coming out. You have Andor, which I didn't like, but it's still coming out. You have The Mandalorian coming out. You need to look at your show and think, what's different about our show than these others that are coming out with sequels and second seasons, third seasons, even a movie? What's different between those and our show? And once you figure that out, you might realize that it wasn't us, the fans, that were toxic that caused your show to fail. It was because y'all didn't do your job. And I say it with all the love in my heart, I just get frustrated when people make this blanket statement that all the fans are what caused this to bomb because they're full of hate and they hate the LGBTQ. That part didn't even come into any of my thought process when I didn't like the show. I mean, I thought that they killed off some of the people too soon in the show. I would have liked to see more character development. I thought they did real good. You know, they killed them off. They just, their storyline kind of just fizzled, and I feel like I'm talking in circles. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think and what your thoughts are. I greatly appreciate it. And if you think this is good, you should really see this video if you think that Luke destroyed the Death Star. Did he? Did he destroy it? You tell me. May the Force be with you always.